Hello and welcome to your Mining Disrupt News Surge for the week of Monday, July 29th, 2024, and it has been an absolutely jam-packed week full of news. Everything that you see here is for entertainment and education purposes only. Please do not take anything that I say as financial advice. Do your own due diligence. But if you want to stay up to date on all things Bitcoin related, all of the news, if you want it in a quick, concise, less than 10-minute package, this is the place to be. Please like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of the recent happenings. Let's jump over to the numbers. We are looking at, as always, TimeChainCalendar.com. The current price is $68,239. For $1 you will get 1,466 sats. The biggest news right here is that, well, we just got a block right there, but the on-chain fees are still absolutely ridiculously low. 2 sats per VByte for any time and only 4 for priority. Blocks are coming in at a screaming 9 minutes and 2 seconds, so we are going to see a sizable jump, 10%, on the next difficulty adjustment. Let's get into all of that news. Last week, shortly after I finished recording, this popped up. David Bailey showed that Elon Musk had changed his profile picture to having some laser eyes. Interesting. What does it mean? I don't know. David Bailey of Bitcoin Magazine says, "Are you ready?" And then, very soon after that, his account got suspended. I believe at this point he is back now, but that was interesting. Then, on Monday, there was 2 major stories that I took note of. First up, we've got Elon Musk posting this. Where are we with the dollar value destruction, you might ask? Interesting. We're somewhere between 3 and 4 Zimbabwe dollars, or whatever these dollars are, and bullets. But the real big news on Monday was this. Swan let go a whole lot of people. Here's Sam Callahan giving his notice that he got let off. Tuesday was a slow news day. But this was interesting. The sphere in Vegas turning orange with the giant Bitcoin logo. We see Bitcoin coins, gold coin, Bitcoin coins on the sphere. On Wednesday, there were 2 big stories, and one of them was directly tied to mining. First, Fold is going to be listed on the NASDAQ. Here from Bitcoin News.com, just in, Bitcoin debit card and financial services company Fold to be listed on the NASDAQ. Fold has 1,000 Bitcoin in its corporate treasury. But the real big news was this. A solo miner using a BitAxe found a Bitcoin block. Now, if you are not aware of Solo Satoshi, I highly encourage you to check him out. Link in the description. Solo Satoshi 2. He sells Bitcoin solo miners here, these BitAxes. You can get a 401 Supra with 733 gigahash per second. Now, if you're wondering what your chances of finding a block are with 733 gigahashes, check this out. Solochance.com. 733 gigahashes will get you a chance per day of 1 in 5.5 million. Now compare that to the Powerball, where just getting $1 million will be more than double the chances, or worse. It's the other way. It's bad chances, bad. 1 in 11.6 million. And this helps decentralize the network. It helps all of Bitcoin. It's a good thing for Bitcoin as a whole for people to spread out the mining. Despite what Trump says about mining all the Bitcoin in the US, I don't think he really understands it. It might sound like a good thing to him, but it's not a good thing for the decentralization of Bitcoin. And secondly, it's not even possible the way Bitcoin works. Anyhow, we're not getting into the weeds here, but the point here is, if you're interested in helping the network and possibly getting yourself a solo mining reward, which is clearly possible, you might want to get a Solo Satoshi miner. On Thursday, leading into the Bitcoin conference, we had all things Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Here again from Bitcoin News.com, RFK saying that he would like to have almost an equal measure, or damn near, of Bitcoin in a strategic reserve as we have in gold, which is a lot of Bitcoin. And as he further on went to talk about purchasing 550 Bitcoin a day until we have 4 million Bitcoin, which I don't even know if it's possible, but holy moly, talk about bullish news. And here, Cynthia Lummis on Fox Business talking about what she would later reveal and announce on stage in full at the Bitcoin conference, this idea to purchase 1 million Bitcoin to have in a strategic reserve. And then also RFK saying that he has the majority of his wealth in Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, this might not be the most bullish news for in the moment today, and you can look at the price, hey, it's at $68,000. Oh, wow, it's not even breaking all-time highs. But you have to zoom out a little bit. I'm just going to let this play while I talk about something that Saylor has said in the past, a few times. Here he's talking about the bullish case, his bullish case for Bitcoin being $49 million in the year 2045. He has said something to the likes of, buy something that people more cultured and richer than you will want. Right now, and it's quickly changing, I do think so, real estate is something, depending on where it's at, people more cultured and wealthier than you will want. But as real estate is demonetized, people realize, hey, wait a second, this is just matter. It's just stuff, and I don't really need this aside from where I live, so I don't need all of these homes. I actually want something that's scarce. We can't build more Bitcoin. There's only so much. We can build more homes. We can even make more land in some cases. But there is only so much Bitcoin. Maybe storing my wealth in that thing is a better idea than yet another apartment building, yet another home, yet another beachfront property. Pay attention to what a genius is saying. And still on Friday, this was RFK saying,
directing the U.S. Treasury to purchase 550 Bitcoin daily until the U.S. has built a reserve of at least 4 million Bitcoins.
Built a reserve of 4 million Bitcoin. As I mentioned a moment ago, I don't know if that's possible. I really don't. It would drive the price so hard and fast up. I don't know who's selling at that point. I really don't. Oh boy. Saturday was an absolute whomper of a news day. Here we go. Cynthia Lummis early in the day said, today is going to be wild. Cannot wait. Later that same day, Bitcoin Archive reported breaking 27 Democrat politicians sign a letter to the DNC demanding end to anti-Bitcoin policies of Elizabeth Warren. Sam Callahan said, the news has hit the tapes. $13.2 billion. Cantor Fitzgerald is getting into Bitcoin-backed lending in a big way. Here, Cynthia Lummis announced after Trump spoke legislation for a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the USA. And I know a lot of people gave this guy some laugh. They pointed, they said, meh, what you're saying doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but boy, those people are eating some humble pie right now. Jason P. Lowry is looking pretty smart when his name is on the tongue of RFK as somebody that RFK would hire right away. This man is doing some good work in the Bitcoin space. And then late on Saturday, my favorite bullish Bitcoin boys, Adam Back and Samson Mao, had a little exchange talking about this in reference to Wall Street Bets saying, just in, Donald Trump says Bitcoin will one day probably surpass the market cap of gold. Adam Back agrees with that, saying, well, sure, this halving cycle probably. To which Samson Mao responds, Adam thinks we will surpass gold's market cap this cycle. I tend to agree. At this point, the news is out there about Bitcoin. It is here to stay, and there are politicians talking about it in big ways. And maybe you could make the argument that they're just saying all this to get the Bitcoiners' vote. And maybe that's true. But you have to zoom out. You have to look at what is actually happening here. And what is actually happening is that politicians are talking about Bitcoin, and people that might not be as deep into Bitcoin as you or I are hearing about this and hearing really good things. Take a listen to this. This is Ted Cruz talking to Fred Thiel just a few weeks ago at the Mining Disrupt conference.
Look, I am incredibly bullish on Bitcoin because the government can't control it. I don't want the government controlling money.
Now, in closing, there's one big, huge thing that you might be wondering, why didn't you talk about the Trump speech? Obviously. Look, here's where I stand on the Trump speech. Was it as good as RFK's in terms of saying the Bitcoiner stuff and talking the talk and walking the walk? Absolutely not. But what it was good for was longer term adoption. You have to zoom out. There was 60-odd thousand people on YouTube, just YouTube, watching that live stream. Some of them are hearing Bitcoin again and again and again and going, Bitcoin. Maybe this Bitcoin thing is here to stick around. Maybe I should look into this a little bit more. That is the big picture here, ladies and gentlemen. And so with that, I hope you have a great week because, boy, it has been a full week of news. See you next Monday.